Good morning and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our OptiProERP with SAP Business One for Manufacturing Overview, where we will be covering our business management solution for small and mid-sized manufacturing companies. Thank you all for joining. I'm Sudi Gumi, the Director of Marketing, and I will be one of your presenters today. I will be presenting with one of my colleagues, George Yankovic, who is our Director of Customer Engagement. And for our agenda today, I'll begin by giving you a brief company overview, and then George will follow up with a demo of our product, and then we'll finish with some Q&A. A few housekeeping items before we get started. For the Q&A, please ask your questions throughout the webinar by typing them in the chat box in the GoToWebinar toolbar. We'll try to get through as many questions as we can at the end of the webinar, but if we can't, we will definitely follow up with you directly afterwards. If you'd like to have a copy of the slides to go along with throughout the presentation, you can download them in the handout section, also in the GoToWebinar toolbar. And we will be recording the webinar, and we'll email you the recording afterwards. With that, let's get into it. So I'll start with a brief company overview of who we are. OptiPro is an e-workplace manufacturing product. And at e-workplace manufacturing, we're about really two things. One, solving the unique needs of small and mid-sized manufacturers and distributors, and two, helping small and mid-sized manufacturers and distributors really succeed and improve their competitive advantage in the digital economy. And we'll talk more about how we do that. So how do we achieve that? We achieve the first part, addressing the unique needs of manufacturers and distributors through our own industry-specific IP solutions and expertise in manufacturing and distribution. E-workplace manufacturing is SAP's strategic industry and OEM partner for manufacturing and distribution. We have two ERP products, OptiProERP and Batchmaster. OptiProERP is an industry-specific ERP focused on discrete manufacturing, so it's focused on the needs of electronics, medical devices, plastics, industrial machinery, and other discrete type manufacturers, as well as wholesale distribution. And then we have Batchmaster also. Of course, OptiPro is our focus for today. And we also have Batchmaster, which is focused on industry-specific needs of process and formula-based manufacturers. So your food and beverage, pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, and chemical manufacturers. So the two solutions go deeper in addressing the unique needs of manufacturers and these sub-vertical industries, and both are SAP certified. We also have GMP Validation Center, which provides software validation services to FDA-regulated life sciences and medical device companies. And then we achieve the second part, helping small and mid-sized manufacturers and distributors succeed in the digital economy, and that is through market-leading technology via SAP Business One. So both OptiProERP and Batchmaster, they're both embedded in SAP Business One, which is SAP's ERP platform designed specifically for small and mid-sized businesses. So our customers get the industry-specific functionality and market-leading technology through our IP solutions and partnership with SAP Business One. And we will talk more about the functionality and the underlying platform and technology in a bit. But really, this is our premise and the basis of our 20-plus year existence as a company. We are a global provider of ERP solutions with our over 20-year history. We have customers, operations, and offices across the globe in the US and North America. And our global headquarters, where George and I are located, is in Southern California, Orange County, California, Irvine. And we also have a strong presence in Latin America and the Asia Pacific. We have a regional headquarter office in Mexico City and Indore, India. And our 400 plus employees are comprised of product, engineering, sales, and support teams, and they're spread throughout North America, Latin America, and the Asia Pacific. Now, more about our focus and the needs that we serve. We are 100% focused on the needs of small and mid-sized manufacturers and distributors, and really supporting their digital transformation. So, of course, we all hear this digital transformation buzzword, but what it means to us and our customers is really improving, optimizing, and standardizing business processes and moving these improved business processes to modern technology. And it's about using a solution that makes this transition happen for your company more easily, efficiently, and effectively. And our solution provides that. So ultimately, our customers are challenged with growth and managing that growth. And when managing growth, we often find with our customers, there's more importance placed on having the visibility to see what and how the business is doing in real time. There's more importance placed on being able to make timely decisions that grow the business. More importance placed on getting timely business information to make these timely decisions, and more importance placed on connecting and unifying your processes, employees, and your supply chain partners. This is what the manufacturers and distributors we work with are challenged with. They have outgrown their current solutions, whether it's QuickBooks, existing ERP systems, their legacy systems, or disconnected and siloed applications that they've adopted over time. They're looking for more industry-specific functionality to gain more visibility and control. They're looking for more digitization to connect and automate their processes. They're looking for easier access to data from a single source of truth to improve decision-making. And they're looking to fully integrate their company-wide operations in a single system to run a true end-to-end manufacturing organization. So these are the types of needs and challenges we help our 3,000 plus customers, manufacturing distribution customers, meet with our ERP solutions and industry expertise. Now, a bit more about our solution, which George will, of course, show you. We describe our solution as an end-to-end and fully integrated solution for manufacturers and distributors. What we mean by end-to-end is that it covers all aspects of your business and your business functions. With the core SAP Business One, you get the world-class financials and accounting, CRM and sales. So you get these core business functions. And then we have taken the SAP Business One core Business One management platform and have added our own IP solutions for manufacturing, wrapped it in one cohesive platform, and that's what we call OptiProERP. So this manufacturing functionality includes production management, advanced planning and scheduling, MRP, MES, and shop floor execution, a product configurator, and the ability to manage primary and alternate BOMs and routings, just to name a few. So now, when we say fully integrated, that means a couple things. First, our manufacturing and distribution functionality is natively built into and embedded into SAP Business One. So no bolt-ons, add-ons, or additional sign-ons. It's simply the SAP Business One platform with added manufacturing and distribution functionality in a single system. And again, George will show you what that means and looks like in the demo. Second, it means that your manufacturing operations are fully integrated with core business functions like your financials, customer service, logistics, and product design to really promote visibility between manufacturing and the rest of your organization. Then finally, it is scalable, meaning you can literally turn off and on functionality that you need today and add as you grow and need functionality in the future. And the underlying SAP Business One platform is also scalable. It won't bog down as you add more data, transactions, employees, plants, and locations, whether they're domestic or international, as you grow. And with our solution, you of course get SAP Business One's market-leading and world-class platform and technology, and importantly, that's specifically built for small and mid-sized companies. The underlying platform of your ERP is really very important, especially given today's environment, pre-COVID, during COVID, and it's ERP platform and technology has become just as important, if not more, than functionality, because it really provides your company with the resiliency, adaptability, and agility in today's disruptive digital economy. So again, this was important before COVID, but even more so now with COVID and its future implications. So example that I like to highlight, so even before COVID, we saw more of our manufacturing customers adopt and integrate e-commerce solutions with their ERP system as a way of adapting their business model and adding a new revenue and sales source and channel to their business. Even for manufacturers that sell to businesses, B2B as well as B2C. So we see this adoption of e-commerce accelerating even more so with COVID, given that many traditional and brick and mortar ways of selling has really slowed down. So this is just one example of how resiliency and being able to adapt quickly is really important and how ERP can enable you. So given the rapid pace of change and innovation out there, it's really imperative for businesses, even more so for small and mid-sized companies, we believe, to be able to adapt given the competition and just the market forces out there. And that is just from a future-proof perspective. But even from a dollar and cents perspective, you just simply don't want to purchase and implement an ERP system every, say, 5 years. It's just frankly too expensive and painstaking from a dollar and resource perspective. You really want an ERP system that stays current and gives you the ability to adapt to these changes as they come. And this is what the SAP Business One platform provides, again, for small and mid-sized companies. It gives you leading and future-proof technology without the complexity and the heavy price tag. It's a digital core platform that is cloud and mobile enabled. It's built on in-memory computing, meaning it can handle loads and loads of data in seconds so that it gives you that real-time processing. It has flexible architecture for various business integrations. It has embedded intelligent technologies such as pervasive analytics, business intelligence, and IoT, the Internet of Things. And importantly, it works. 70 plus thousand small and mid-sized customers are on SAP Business One. It is ranked #1 by Gartner by customer count and revenue. It's also the fastest growing ERP platform among small and mid-sized companies. So you have the trust factor of the solution and a trusted world-class brand of SAP behind it. As mentioned, there's a lot of embedded business intelligence and analytics that's built into SAP Business One. It's deemed as an intelligent ERP application. There are hundreds of standard reports that come out of the box. You also get the popular Crystal reports built in. And out of the box, you also get dashboarding, visualization tools, filtering, pivoting, and Excel integration all built in, and all using a single database to allow for the very fast real-time processing of data. So really, ultimately, what this means for you is the system's ability to handle vast amounts of data in real time and turning that data into something digestible and actionable for better insights, better business insights and decision making, and giving you a holistic view of your business in real time. The system can be run from anywhere in the world on any device. All you need is a web browser, giving you the ability to work remotely in today's environment. Another example of enabling business resiliency and continuity. It is cloud and mobile ready and enabled, as I mentioned, and it is accessible via web browser and mobile, regardless of whether you go cloud or on-premise with us. So an important point there to note. I mentioned the flexible architecture that SAP Business One has, really giving you the ability to integrate with other systems that you have. And with SAP's ecosystem, you have a rapid integration framework with best-in-class solutions for just some examples: e-commerce, point of sale, EDI, CAD integrations. So those are just some examples. And again, with the robust SAP ecosystem, we have best-in-class partnerships with these integration partners, the likes of Shopify and BigCommerce for e-commerce, Square for point of sale. Again, just a couple examples. And these partners already have integrations kind of built in and in place with SAP Business One, making integrations to these other systems even more rapid. Shipping as well, which is important for our manufacturing customers. We do offer freedom of choice deployment. You have the freedom to choose cloud or on-premise deployment, whichever suits your needs. More and more of our customers are going cloud because of the vast benefits that cloud provides and the quick deployment and the ROI it provides. But many of our customers do opt for on-premise, many of them for regulatory needs. They have regulatory requirements that, where they need to really go on-premise. And then given our 20 plus year history, we've developed what we call customer first practices to maximize our customer success. A couple of them are, we're a full service partner, so we lead the specification, the implementation, deployment, and the ongoing support of your ERP. We also, as we go through the discovery process and implementation, we identify areas where you can improve your business processes, so that you're not just bringing your old processes over, you're also improving them as you go along. I mentioned the freedom of choice deployment. We allow you to own the data, which is not really a standard industry practice in the ERP world. We provide fixed fee implementation options, also interest-free financing options to free up your cash flow, and our customer support is also included in your annual service and maintenance. So that covers a little bit, giving you a brief background of our company. And with that, I will give it to George for the demonstration.
Thank you, Sudi. Okay, now let me share my screen. Thank you. Well, hello, everyone. What you're looking at right now is when you log in the morning, you'll see something that looks something like this. This is called the cockpit. Okay, I am the manager. I'm God. I could do anything within the system. Okay, I'm in this company called OptiProERP Demo Company. This is a multi solution, multi-company, multi-division, multi-branch, multi-warehouse, multi-bin, multilingual, multi-currency. It's truly a global application. Okay, you can get to anything that you want to along the way. You'll see the typical file edit view up in the top menu, and there'll be a toolbar that will light up or gray out depending on where you are within the system. For instance, any output from the system could be previewed, printed, emailed, either directly through the system, through Outlook, or through Gmail. Okay, in some cases you can send something to an SMS device, text it, okay, fax it, export it to Excel, export it to Word, make a PDF out of it, launch other applications, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A whole bunch of things along the way here, and I'll point some of the things out as we go through. Okay, on your cockpit now, I happen to be more or less a salesperson, so you see things that are applicable to sales here. But on your cockpit, you may have things like processes that you're involved with, key performance indicators, dashboards, graphs, reports. There's this widget called Common Functions, where you can take the things that you use day in and day out, or the things that you rarely use, put them in here, you drag them in from the menu, and they're here right in front of you. And these aren't just pretty pictures. For instance, if I wanted to do a sales order, I click on sales order, and it opens up the form for me to do that. If I wanted to see my orders that haven't been shipped yet, here they all are, and I can see all of them right from here. Also, if I'm a different kind of person, I might have other cockpits. Maybe I'm an inventory person, and if I looked at an inventory cockpit, I might see totally different key performance indicators, dashboards, processes, different kinds of graphs and things that I would see that are applicable to my job. And you can do all of this yourself without having to dial 1-800-GEORGE and spend $5,000 to do it, because it's all built into the system. By just simply clicking on the pencil, you can update your cockpit. Okay, you can even add other key performance indicators or dashboards using pervasive analytics up here in the toolbar. Okay, in this case, it's easy. You can add whatever you need to add. They do depend on actually writing a query to do this. And you might say, I don't know how to write a query. Are you kidding me? Well, in tools, we have two different query wizards that will actually write the query for you. You don't need to know how to do that. And then you can take the results of this and put it wherever you want within the system, not just on your cockpit. Okay. Now, everybody says that they're integrated. This system is at the far end of the spectrum. Okay, so There's a search function that will find anything within the system. Let's say that we have a customer that calls up and says, I have order number 13. Did you guys ever invoice that to me? I just found 74 pages of things that had 13 in them. Activities, which are phone calls and meetings and campaigns and tasks and things like that assigned to people that started at 1336, etc. But we were looking for order number 13. Here it is right at the top of the list. When I click into it, I can see what that order looks like. And if I want to, I can email it right out the door to the customer right here. Simple and easy. And it will format the email that I want and automatically attach a layout of this document in PDF form. I wanted to find out what happened with this though. That's called the relationship map. In this case, we actually started with a quotation. Customer must have liked what we had because it changes it to an order. It was a make to order product, and we made it on this production order. We shipped it out the door on this particular document, and here's our invoice. It's red. It's still open. I can open this up right now and again, email it out the door to the customer, or export it to Excel, or print it out, or do whatever I want to, or have a chat with somebody about it. Simple and easy things to do. As you can see, the entire process is tied together. Everybody says that they're integrated. This is at the far end of the spectrum. Everything is all tied together in one coherent whole, from the time you meet a potential customer to the time the money's in the bank, from the highest levels of inquiry all the way down into the individual journal entries that make everything all up. Everything is all tied together in one coherent whole. We were talking about this common functions here. Now you can take some things from the menu and drag them in here. Well, here's the menu over here. Let's take a look at the menu. And let's take a look at the scope of what we term as the core of the whole solution. It's not the whole scope of the whole solution, but it's the core of it. And this is sold by the user. So when you buy the first user license, you get all of these modules, all included. You don't have to use them all, but you can grow into it as well, easily. Administration is where we set up the system, all the switches and dials and settings. It's also where we also set up all the workflow and alerts so we can manage by exception and approval processes and things like that. It's also where the whole project management is found, where the project to implement the system is found is in here as well. Financials, not just accounting and financials, but also handling all your 1099s, doing full budgeting for you, all your fixed assets, plus cost accounting. So you don't have to have a mile-long chart of accounts to see everything that you want to see in detail. You can keep your chart of accounts short and sweet and see the detail in cost accounting. All included. Also included is embedded CRM. And it's not just customer relationship management, it is business partner relationship management. So, for instance, if you have an opportunity to bring on a new supplier, you can track all the process of bringing on that supplier within CRM as well. Any contacts that you have with suppliers and customers and leads, all included with this. Okay. Subset of that is opportunities. Again, with customers or with leads or suppliers. Okay. Everything to do with sales, from blanket agreements all the way down to AR credit memos. And there's a document generation wizard that will cut all of your invoices for you. Mirror image of that, all your purchasing, from blanket agreements again, all the way down to AP credit memos. And there's ability to capture landed costs. Any costs that are off invoice, and you can spread those costs from customs to handling charges to whatever it might be, fuel surcharges, anything like that. Maybe third-party freight or anything like that. Manage your containers on the water, all of that. And then spread those costs however you see fit across all of the inventory that came in on that. By weight, by volume, equally, by value, however you want to do it. Business partners, as I said before, anybody you do business with, leads, customers, vendors. If a lead turns into a customer, you don't lose any of the correspondence that you had or the documentation or anything like that. It's just the type of business partner changes, and everything flows along with it. You handle all your money in banking, incoming payments, deposits, outgoing payments. There's a payment wizard that will cut all your checks. Okay, bank statement reconciliation is here as well. Okay, inventory, everything to do with inventory. Item master, anything can be barcoded in any barcoding form that you want to, and we can scan it, use it any kind of scanner that you want. All we care is that the kind of scanner that you use can read the kind of barcodes that you're going to be using in the density that they're in. And we can put barcodes on anything. Any field can be barcoded, one-dimensional, two-dimensional, RFID, it doesn't really matter, okay? Also, any number of price lists that you might have that are dependent upon each other, list price, a distributor price, special prices for given business partners, etc. Never been stumped on pricing. And there's a pick and pack manager as well that will allow you to pick things for whatever purpose: sales orders, purchase orders, production orders, inventory transfers, however you want to pick things, and a whole variety of ways of picking things here. And then, of course, a whole phalanx of inventory reports. Resources allow you to control, for capacity planning purposes, any resources that constrain you. Simple and easy thing to do. Services, anything that happens after the sale, not just calls, but maybe complaints. And there's also a knowledge base that will allow you to look up any sort of problems that people might have about your problems or your services or your products, and get answers for those things. So all your customer service people appear to be experts on your company and your products. Human resources, where you define all your employees and subcontractors and what their training is, and what their relationships are, and who they report to, and what roles they have within the company and what they can get at. Embedded project management, all you have to do for external projects, internal projects, or sub-projects is reference a project in any one of the transactions throughout the system, and everything flows into that project, where you can then see things in Gantt charts, control the issues that you might have against projects, bill against these projects with a billing generation wizard as well, right in here as well. If you want to bill by milestones within the project, you can do that. Reporting, a subset of all of the reports that you see in all the other modules. In fact, there are no real modules. There's simply spheres of functionality that happen to be displayed to you in a modular fashion. Excel Reporter, one of the 6 different reporting tools that come with the solution. In this case, you work right within Excel, and you're only limited by your knowledge of what you can do in Excel. And you go directly against the objects within the database. You can schedule those reports to be run periodically and delivered to people. So you come in on Monday morning and have a whole bunch of Excel reports right there in your inbox if you need to. Within manufacturing, full quality control. All your plans and sub-plans for sampling of whatever products. We can do QC at any point within your process, from the time you receive raw material, at any point in inventory, any operation in work in process, or just before you ship. Also included with that then are nonconformist reporting, and soon CAPA as well, corrective action and preventative action, all included within here. Do all the sampling that you need and everything. Within production, all your bills and routings and operations, equipment masters, tooling and gauges. And this is where we can also produce all the labels that you want, any labels, from bin labels to item labels to package labels to pallet labels. It doesn't really matter. We can produce them right from the system at any point within the process. And then, of course, this is where all of our production orders and move orders and engineering change orders are. We'll get into this in more detail in just a second. And then, of course, planning, last but not least. Forecasting with hindcasting, powerful tools for forecasting at any level within your product structure, even at a family level, okay? And then we'll provide the ability to do planning in simulation mode or real mode with master production scheduling, material requirements planning, and rough cut capacity planning. These are both rough, gross to net, level by level planning algorithms that have been around for decades. What you should get out of this, though, is all your procurement schedules and plans are now in lockstep with all your production schedules and plans as well. And they're more realistic because you can see whether you have the right capacity to get them done. So the core, I'm sure, of what your business is production. And of course, that's really the heart and soul of what we do here. So let's drill into that and look at it in more detail. I'm going to go right into a production order right from here. I can do it from the menu, but I'll do it right from my common functions. And let's pick up an order here, take a look at it and see what it might look like. Okay, pick up the last one. Okay, this is order number 478 to make a high definition tower speaker. We only make these one at a time. They sell for $18,000 a piece. They're controlled by serial number. Okay, we can make this. We have different priorities. We can make it specifically for a custom order for a customer. If we have projects, we can relate to the project right from here. In this case, we're going to use revision 4 and sequence 7 of the bill of material. Let's drill into the bill and see a little bit more detail of this right now here. So, as I said before, revisions and sequences. Every time you make a change to the bill of material that changes form, fit, or function on an engineering change order, you have a new revision number. Okay, but you might also make more trivial changes that don't change form, fit, or function. It could be even as that you're correcting a spelling error or something like that. There's still nowhere for anybody to hide. Anytime you ever change anything within the system, there's an audit trail placed, and you can see who changed what when and what did they do. Okay, whenever you make any sort of a change, you get this new sequence number every time you make a change. We may have primary bills of materials or alternate bills of materials. So you might have different ways that you can make things. You might be out of a one key component, but make it out of other components or different ways of making it, because we can have primary and alternate routings as well. Of course, here's all the bills, or here's all of the components that go into this. Even if this happens to be a subassembly, I can drill using the little golden arrow. Every time you see the golden arrow, it means drill down, drill around. I can drill into the bill of material for any subassemblies right from here as well. All of the quantity pers in their units of measure, date effectivity on all the changes. Okay, 3 ways of actually issuing material. Operational issue. So when I issue these, when I complete operation 10, when I report that, it's automatically going to issue the speaker backs. When I complete operation 20, it's going to issue the woofer assemblies and the tweeter assemblies automatically. But I'm going to manually issue the grills, okay? And these screws, I don't have to do a separate transaction for those. I'm going to backflush them. So when I complete the order, the system will blow through the bill and say, is there anything to be backflushed? If you made these speakers, you must have used 16 screws, so issue those 16 screws automatically. Okay, and of course you could include or not include any of this in your cost roll-up, etc. Now, let's take a look at the routing in a little more detail. Here's my routing. Okay, 4 different operations that we're going to perform on this guy. We're going to build our speaker enclosures. We're going to burn in the speakers. We're going to do a quality check on them, and then we're going to package them up as speaker in 4 different work centers. Okay, when I drill into one of these operations, you'll see I may have any number of resources that may contribute to this operation. Okay, any number, and they don't have to be just labor. They can be any sort of resources. Okay, and you have time estimates for all of those with their labor rates, etc., on those resources, because I can drill right into the resource from here and see all the detail of that resource, etc. And we have things for setup and run and fixed charges and all of that kind of stuff as well. Okay, now this was all done in the wood shop. Okay, when I drill down into the wood shop, okay, well, it had labor associated with it. Okay, again, it had any number of resources. Those resources have availability on a shift-by-shift basis, and we can record those, any changes to that, quickly and easily right here. So if somebody's out sick or we're working overtime, then all of that will be accurately reflected in capacity planning and rough cut capacity planning as well. Okay, and maybe the work center itself has availability that changes on a shift-by-shift basis as well. we can control that as well, again, for planning purposes and capacity planning purposes. In this case, we start at 6 a.m. in the morning. We work for eight hours, and our shift starts on Monday. So we can see all of that. Okay, now, back to the routing. You notice that we may have parallel operations or overlapping operations with prerequisites. Okay, we may also have minimum transfer quantities, where maybe we're making things as a trays of 12 at a time, let's say, okay? And I complete the first tray of 12, I want to move that to the next operation, then start the next tray of 12. That's what that minimum transfer quantity is all about. So we may have a given work order being at many operations at the same time in work in process, and we can reflect that and accurately plan for that. You notice also here on the right side, I can have some operations that are either don't have to be reported against, or some that we cannot skip on reporting. This QC operation, I must report against. Okay, and then of course for each one of these operations, those minimum transfer quantities show up, and our Q times, move times, and QC times are right over here. You may also then attach anything you want all over the place with the system. Okay. As a result, the system then calculates fixed and variable lead times for this particular routing down to the thousandth of a day. We will schedule things to the minute. Okay, and if we need to, we can update our lead times right from here, or update our item costs and do a cost roll up right from here as well. Okay, now our order has been released. When I released the order, it's in released station. It's actually out on the floor. It took a copy of the bill of material and brought it into the routing. It took all the resources and brought that into the work order as well, and took all the routing and all the operations and brought that into the work order as well. We also scheduled this order. When I scheduled it, what did it do? It started with the first operation, and it said, gee, I can start that today, or yesterday actually, at 6 a.m. because that's when our work center started. It's a 2-hour operation, so it's going to get done at 8 a.m. That's taking care of all of the queue times and move times and all of that stuff as well. Okay, and so the next operation can start at 8 a.m. and complete it at 10:55 because it's more than 2 hours, et cetera, et cetera. So we come up with an end date and an end time. We will again plan and schedule to the minute. Okay, forward scheduling operation by operation. Okay, now, again, we brought all this into the system. When I right-click on this, I can now see what can be changed on it. I can receive things from production. I can schedule the order if I need to move it around a little bit. I can return components. I can generate all of my serial numbers or lot numbers right from here if I need to automatically and produce those labels. I can also produce a traveler. In this case, this is done in Crystal Reports. The most popular business reporting tool in the world is one of the 6 different reporting tools that come with the solution. And we can have a layout that lays all this all out. In this case, we've barcoded the order number itself, the finished good item number, and the operations. But we have several companies, many companies, that will have 30, 40, 50-page layouts for these things, so that as a result, they include checkboxes, checklists, operating instructions, pictures, whatever you want to see that helps the person do the correct thing and know what done right looks like. Okay, now, so we have an order out here on the floor. It's being worked on. How do we do stuff with that? Well, I'm going to go onto the web now. My order now shows up in our scheduling workbench. Again, forward scheduling by operation with respect to capacity. And this is simple drag and drop kinds of capabilities. So as I move things around, you notice the load moves with me. So I can resolve capacity issues and problems that I might have in getting things done on time. And then when I'm done with this, I simply resync it back to the system. So again, forward scheduling operation by operation with respect to capacity. So you have realistic and doable plans to be done. We also have shop floor execution system. I can now report against this. This is only some of the many web apps that we have. I'm now John, I'm on the factory floor, okay? I'm gonna report against this. I log in, I'll pick up the task that I'm supposed to work on. Here's my work order number 478, okay? I can see what I need to do on this. I can shoot any barcodes or create any labels that I need to right here, or I could have scanned this instead of actually looking it up on the list. It'll also show me all the resources that I need to get something done, okay? And it will give me any attachments that I have, pictures, movies, anything that I want. I can do it right from here and see it, okay? Now it's time to report against this. All I do is press start, and the clock has started against this. I can now log off and let somebody else use this terminal because this function is not sold by the user, it's sold by the piece of hardware. So even if you have 140 people working on the factory floor, but only 10 workstations, you only buy 10 licenses, much cheaper. All I have to do now is maybe if I get interrupted, report an interruption. Why did I get interrupted? And what did I do with it? Now you have a mechanism in which you can determine what's going wrong on the factory floor and make continuous improvement on that. If I need to report batches or serial numbers, linkages between the two, I simply shoot my parent, shoot the component as I install it. That now establishes a linkage between what serial number or lot number did I put into this serial number or lot number. And then as a result of that, we also have now bidirectionally multi-level traceability and recall capabilities, full genealogy on lots or serial numbers within the system. When I'm done with all of this then, all I have to do is say, I'm going to start my clock again because I fixed everything. I report how many did I make, how many did I accept. If I'm going to reject anything, it's right here. I can reject it and open up a QC order for disposition of that, or I can open up a non-conformance order right this. I simply say finish and submit, and that's all I have to do. Easy things to do. As a result, I can then report everything that's happened against this particular order within the system. And we can build all of those things up in real time. When I'm done with this, then all I have to do is that then says, I'm going to put this into finished goods. I can do that right on the system, or I can do it in WMS. I can report it into finished goods, okay? And then from here in inventory, we have the pick and pack manager that will allow us to pick this from our stock room and ship it out the door. That then generates up here in sales a delivery document, which is a shipping document. That then allows us to create an AR invoice. And then once the company pays the invoice in banking, we do an incoming payment and or a deposit, and we have money in the bank. And that gets us right to the end. Now, there's a lot more that we can show you today, but I'm sure there's some questions, so I'll end right here. Hopefully what you've seen today is a full, complete, enterprise-wide solution, modern technology, flexible, that will meet all your needs now and into the future, scalable, so no matter how you grow, you won't grow out of it. Back over to you, Sudhi.
Thanks so much, George. We do have a little time for some Q&A, so let's see. Do you sell via partner channel or directly to customers?
We are an SAP Business One VAR, and we can sell through the partner channel. However, we're also a OEM and one of only 5 OEMs in North America, and we're the only one that does manufacturing. As such, the system has been audited by SAP. Our training and our expertise and experience in the system has been audited by SAP, and they have deemed this an OEM, meaning that we can sell directly to customers. We don't have to be a reseller, and we can brand it as our own brand because we have that depth and that expertise. So yes, you're talking to the one throat to choke. You don't have to have anybody else involved.
Okay, Thanks, George. Another question here, George. Can you talk about security levels and roles?
Oh, there are two different kinds of authorizations within the solution. I don't know, am I still showing my screen? Okay, I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Within administration here, when I'm doing initialization through authorization, there are two different kinds of authorizations. First, either by groups or by individual users, we can then specify what can people do within there. Security within the system is meant to be, can I even get at the system? Okay, and that's world class. Okay, with password management and all the other nice world-class tools that can control whether you can get in or not. But once you're in, two different dimensions of authorizations. General authorizations that says, what can I get at and what can I do, down to detailed level. And it's very, very simple and easy to do, okay? Do it by groups or you can do it by individual users, okay? Or there's also ownership authorizations. So, for instance, Bob Tech can only see his stuff. It's not what can I get at, but it's whose can I get at and whose can I see and whose can I update. So Bob Tech can only do his own stuff, okay? However, Jason Butler has total access to everybody's. So you can control in multiple dimensions who can do what, who can get at what, down to the field level on a transaction by transaction basis.
Okay, maybe one more question here. Is your product configurator a third-party tool?
Our configurator is built right into our software. We did this. In fact, I have a copy of it opened here. Here's our configurator right here. It's a web app, okay? And it will take you through, on a wizard fashion, the ability to configure your final assembly, generate a final assembly item number, a final assembly bill of material, a final assembly routing, and do a cost roll up for that particular configuration of that product for that customer, and put it into the system either as a draft, a quote, or an order from anywhere on any device. And it's our software. So again, you don't have to go through another party to use it.
Okay. So sorry guys, we're about out of time. There are a few more questions here that we weren't able to get to, but we'll definitely follow up with you afterward. We do have a brief survey at the end of the webinar. We would very much appreciate your feedback. And again, we will be sending you a recording of the webinar. Thank you again for your time. On behalf of George, me, and the OptiProERP team, thank you so much for your time and participation. Please take care. Thanks, George.
Thank you, Sudhi. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.